We've booked hundreds of meetings and added millions of dollars into our clients' pipelines and even helped some of our clients land contracts with companies on the NASDAQ stock market using cold email. But there are major changes coming to cold email in 2026 that you need to be aware of. What wins in 2026 isn't more volume, it's tighter lists and what I like to call permission-based selling. Let me show you exactly what to change before everybody else does so that you can be ahead of the curve and still continue to book calls and close deals using cold email. Let's get right into it. Okay, so people who win with cold email in 2026 are going to be doing it with smaller lists, better offers, and again, what I like to call permission-based selling. Let me show you exactly what that means. So the reason why you find cold email so hard to do today is that there are a multitude of different factors, but it's primarily these three things. Number one is there's too much noise. People are receiving hundreds and hundreds of cold emails every single day, and it's now tougher than ever to stand out. Second thing is that there's the emails that you send out are not relevant at all, right? It's not relevant to the person you're sending to. You're simply just sending out generic messages hoping that something sticks and something works. And you're just doing what the third thing is, which is spray and pray. You have spray and pray type of method, and you're sending out generic messages. Spray and pray, and what I mean by that is like, grabbing and blasting out random lists is now harder than ever. You're not going to succeed with that, right? I mean, it's not harder than ever in that sense, but you're not going to succeed with that. It's now harder to make that succeed, harder to get that to work, right? You need to take extra steps that other people aren't willing to do to make cold email work for you today. So the shift number one that you need to have is that smaller but tighter lead list win at the end of the day. Instead of just blasting out 10,000 different people with generic messaging that ultimately doesn't book you any calls, you need to have a smaller and tighter list of 1,000 to 2,000 people who share a certain role and they have a certain pain or desire that they want, and this will lead you to book more calls, right? So how you can actually do that is you need to have a very precise role and industry that you're going after, right? So for example, if I'm pitching my lead generation services, I can go after VP of sales at B2B SaaS companies. Not just like anybody in sales or not just SaaS, not just specifically anybody in B2B SaaS. No, VP of sales at B2B SaaS companies. That's a specific pain. And I can even go deeper. I can go somewhere like VP of sales at financial B2B SaaS companies. That works super well. That's like a micro niche in a niche, and it helps you a ton when you're building out your lead. That's when you're that specific, because all of those people at, let's say, VP of sales at B2B SaaS are struggling with the same pain and they have the same desires. In this case, they're struggling with pipeline visibility and not just need more leads, or like they don't have like a specific do you want more marketing or do you want XYZ, right? Another thing is triggers. You can also use triggers to make a lead list tight, right? So let's say, I'm going after B2B SaaS companies who are hiring for SDR, or who got recently funded, who got promoted, or maybe somebody went from a sales manager to a VP of sales. That is a very smaller amount of leads, right? But it allows me to write my copy a lot better than just generically blasting it out, right? Bigger lead list equals harder to write to everyone. Smaller lead list is basically easier to write to a specific persona, right? Because the whole point of cold email is to try to make it as close as possible to sounding like you're writing to one specific person. Now, it won't be 100% there, but the closer you get, the better results you will get, right? Instead of just making a broad message for everyone, target a specific avatar, and I promise you will have much more success rather than just going after and blasting out thousands of messages, hoping that something eventually ends up working, right? Shift number two is you need to have an offer that speaks to one persona. Again, relating back to the first point, you need to speak to one specific type of person. Instead of just saying, hey, we help companies grow revenue with better marketing. That just sounds so vague. It can mean anything. It's like, okay, how are you going to do marketing? Are you doing SEO? Are you doing pay-per-click? Are you doing meta ads? Are you doing cold email? Are you TikTok UGC? Like, what are you doing for me to help me grow, right? Versus something like, we help B2B SaaS CMOs turn free trial users into paying customers using automated email sequences. Do you see how fucking specific that is? Like that works so much better than just, we help companies grow. And I've said this before on my channel, and the permission-based selling part, which I'll get to later in the video, I've said it before on my channel. But for those of you who are new, I've said this multiple times. But it still baffles me to this day. I speak to so many companies, so many people who are trying to get in cold email, who have tried cold email in the past, and they send out offers like this right here, and they're like, oh, like, yeah, we tried cold email before, it didn't work. And it's like, bro, you barely did anything. Like, this does not mean anything, right? But I'm sure you're starting to see how having a smaller lead list makes this so much easier, right? If you have a smaller lead list, you can make a specific offer like this. Because if you scrape B2B SaaS CMOs, you can make this specific type of offer. Versus if you just scrape SaaS, it can mean anything, right? This reminds me, it's kind of like the thing from Hormozi's $100 million offers book, where he has this in here, where it's like, let's say you're selling time management, that you can only sell that for $19. Because time management is so broad and so like generic, right? But let's say you're selling time management for sales professionals. Okay, that's better, $99, right? Let's say you're selling time management for outbound B2B sales, $499. That's because you're so specific. And then finally, you're selling time management for outbound B2B power tools and gardening sales jobs. That is $2,000. The more specific you are, the better and better, or the higher you could charge. Think about it. Why does a doctor make less than like a specific, like, I don't know, brain surgeon? A generic doctor, like a just everyday practitioner, makes less than a brain surgeon. The reason is the brain surgeon is very specialized in a specific role, versus the doctor is more general. And yes, the doctor still makes money, yes, but compared to a brain surgeon, they make a lot less money. And it's the same fucking thing with cold emails and offers. If you're very specific as to what type of avatar you're going after, you will be able to charge more money, and it'll seem more pristine and prestigious to the people you're reaching out to, right? If you want more on this, read Alex Hormozi's $100 million offers book. By the way, if you do want help with cold email going in 2026 and you make $30,000 or more, click the link below and you can work with my agency. Here are some case studies we've gotten for our clients. I'll let you just pause the video and read these through, but yeah, we have tons of those. So the shift number 3 is what I like to call permission-based selling. I've said this multiple times. So what exactly is permission-based selling, right? You need to stop forcing calls. Again, it baffles me. I speak to so many people who like are getting started in cold email, or who have tried cold email in the past, and they're like, it didn't work out. And I'm like, okay, show me the cold email copy. And it's usually one of this, where it's like, people are forcing calls. In the first email alone, they're saying, hey, do you want to hop on a call, right? You want to instead start earning interest by asking permission first. I've stated this multiple times, but again, I see so many people doing this wrong. Like so many companies, $1 million companies and big companies and small people, beginners who are just getting into it, they do this wrong. You do not want to pitch a call. You want to ask permission first and then provide value and then pitch a call. You do not want to pitch a call in the first email. I'm going to keep saying it. You don't pitch a call in the first email. Instead, share value. So lead with the insight or helpful resource. You want to ask permission, like, hey, can I send this over? Or can I send a quick one-pager on this? Then once they say yes, now you have real interest and trust from them. And then from there, you can pitch a call once you send the email over, right? So some examples of this are, hey, I've put together a 3-minute video showing how we solve this exact problem for a similar company. Do you want me to send it over? Right? We created a simple 2-page framework to help 12 SaaS CMOs improve trial to pay by 40%. Are you open to me sharing that? Open to hearing how we can help you implement this, right? So you want to send this permission-based selling CTA, where it's like, hey, can I send this over? Interested in learning more? Open to hearing more? And then once they say yes, then and only then you send the resource over, you send the information over, and then you're like, okay, I can explain to you how this works over a call. Let's get on a call with Monday at 1 p.m. or Tuesday at 2 p.m. work for you, right? Rather than just pitching a call in the first email, you do this, and this will work out so much better. Again, for those of you who have watched my videos, you know that I've said this multiple times, but I'm reiterating here because so many people still to this day cannot get this right, and it's killing their cold email campaigns, and they wonder why cold email doesn't work for them, because they come off too salesy and it's too strong, right? So the new cold email workflow heading into 2026 is you need to build tighter lead list, ideally 1,000 to 2,000 people with a similar role that have similar pain, and maybe there's a timing signal in there. Send a relevant message, a niche offer that speaks directly to that specific problem or persona. Ask permission, hey, can I send this over? Are you open to learning more? deliver the value. So share the video, share the framework, share the case study, and then pitch time to schedule a call. It all starts from the top, right? It all starts from the lead list, because the lead list is the foundation. The foundation of the foundation of a cold email campaign is the lead list. Once you have the lead list, once you know who you're targeting to, then you can craft the messaging and the offer around it. And then from there, you just ask permission, do the permission-based selling approach of, can I send you more information? Can I send you a one-pager? Can I send you a 3-minute video breaking this down? Deliver the value or whatever the information, and then book a time. But the foundation, what I really need to understand, is the lead list. The lead list is the foundation of every single cold email campaign. And when you're building out a lead list as to who you're targeting, you have to be specific as to that specific persona that you want to go after, because it'll affect your offer, it'll affect your copy, and then from there it'll affect the type of people you on call, right? So hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, you find this video very valuable. In a nutshell, that's what it is. If you do all of these 3 things, you will have higher response rate, better conversations, and deals that actually end up closing for you, right? I didn't want to make this too long. There's nothing too crazy coming to cold email. It's only going to get harder. Like, I'm here to tell you, it's only going to get harder. The best will survive. It is literally Darwinism, survival of the fittest out here in 2026. So you need to do better. You need to do more, because most people will just send out thousands and thousands of emails, but you need to take the extra step and build smaller lead lists, which will mean you do extra work, which will mean you have to get very specific. You have to extract multiple lists. You have to maybe create multiple campaigns. But this is the extra step needed for you to stand out and become the best that you can with cold email, right? So hopefully you find this video valuable. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're interested in a free community, by the way, that teaches all of this and has all of my teachings pretty much distilled into one place, go to one of my free school community. It's absolutely free. It's called Cold Outreach Mastery. I have tons and tons of guides, free cold email scripts, subject lines, CTAs. You can just copy and paste. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. And I hope you find this video valuable. And I wish you good luck in 2026 with cold email.